Boy, you ship them ready? All right, I am in charge of shipping today. Esther had to run away on a family emergency. It's George's week off. I'm packing. Look how well that's packed, by the way. To the person that bought us that knife, thank you. We still use it every day. So like I mentioned, George is off. It is his birthday week. I am packing. Esther is dealing with family stuff. Anyway, this one has leaky valves. It had a 40% leak down on the exhaust. I've 90% got the head off. Just got a few more bolts on the inset manifold, and then the head will be off. I'll show you what it looks like. Let me show you all sitting outside that's next. You guys will be, I think you guys are going to like this next one. So we've got this Colorado right here. This is sitting in the parking lot. Claims to have a V8 in it. Anybody believe that? Colorado with a V8? No, I'm just kidding. This is a Delsol. This belongs to a friend of ours, Eric. We built a car for him about 10 years ago. So I guess that's testament that he likes us. He brought this one back. Super clean Delsol. He just had it painted. He just did the wheels and the carbon fiber hood. He wants to do a little bit of cleanup back there, which I'm going to do. But mainly he wants to do maintenance, timing belt, water pump, fluids, basically go over everything. See if I remember where the hood prop is. Look at that little single jingle through a slush box. That might be changed in the future, but for right now he just wants it to be reliable. I think that is leaking because the pedal, as you put pressure on it, I just tested it, it just kind of goes down and keeps going. Coolant coming out of the radiator, again, pretty common. I think I might just put a radiator and hoses on that. Everything is original on this car. Yeah, it's 25 years old. So let's go ahead and finish the S2000, then we'll bring this in. I'll show you what this looks like. These seats are absolutely amazing. I know I keep saying that, but it is true. Cylinder head is off. These are the gaskets. All right, and then looks like it is being burning nicely. Mixture is good. No signs of detonation. See a little bit of a shape around here. See the color difference versus this one. Looks like we're getting a slight misfire right here. So I should have had a leak down on the exhaust. The smaller valves here, the exhaust. This one looks a little bit different to the rest right here. While it's apart, I'm going to check the injectors just in case this has a slight difference on the injector, because you remember when you tune in via your O2 sensor, you're taking an average of this. So let's say if this one is running 14 to 1 and this one's running 10 to 1, well, guess what? You're going to see 12 to 1 on your O2 sensor. Running water right here. Typically you would use brake cleaner or lacquer thinner, something thinner, but water will tell you, oh yeah, look at that. That's leaking right away. So yeah, that's what we suspected. We had 40% leak down. Bottom end looks good. From what we see, we don't really have problems with the bottom ends. It's usually the top ends. One of the valves right here, not too bad. The seats are beat up a little bit. I'm trying to remember which one number one was. There it is. I did them from left to right. But you see how that seat, right now it's 5 to 2. I gotta go eat. I am starving. I got here at 7 o'clock and I'm doing everything. The shipping is ready. Just waiting for the mailman. I got myself a 6-inch tuna and treated myself to a, just got to let my light charge up. So we've been using this light daily for 6 months, been fantastic. Use it so much. Definitely a good investment once it turns green. This is the full head gasket kit. It's pretty expensive, but best way to buy it. That way you get every single part you need for the top end. Day 2 of not having Esther and George, so the head, I did a pretty good job of cleaning it up just so it's decent. He's going to finish and take all the stem seals off and build it. I'll show you it when it's done. He always takes his birthday off. I don't know if he's going anywhere or not, but it's just part of our deal. Is he wanted his week off, so hopefully he's having a good time. What we have found is when one of us is here alone, that's when it usually ends up being the busiest. When people take off, the store's busy. We get people walking up. We have deliveries. Yesterday, Monday, I had 17 orders in the store, and they were pretty big orders, and we take a long time to pack them. I spend about, I think I spent 2.5 hours packing yesterday. And then, of course, having to take 2 kids to school and take 2 kids back from school. So in front of Esther's computer now, I'm looking at the emails. Since midnight last night, we got 62 emails. And unfortunately, I just saw 6 of them in a row were partnership, sponsorship. I don't want to share stuff that I like. All right, where do you press print? I'm on Esther's store right now. We've got 2 computers, and this is, you want to see what I'm looking at? I just had to make a couple of stops to go to the bank, and then I had to go to the machine shop and talk about some new products that we're working on. Drop some samples off and the files to see if it's something we can do. Can you hear this? You hear about the tires are getting in my truck? They're getting kind of noisy, and it feels like they're getting noisier quicker. I have to get the car that pulls to the left. Look at that. So glad I got a truck. Car would never handle this. All right, back to the shop. I just spoke to Honda Pro Jason. He's coming by this week. Excited to show him something. We are so thrifty with our pens for building stuff. This is definitely going to make it a little bit easier for stuff. Okay, now time to work on the Delsol. Something really interesting is this is the power steering bracket. Look how beefy that is just to hold the power steering pump. Bolts with 414 head bolts, and the whole thing is cast iron. Very, very heavy, very overkill. That's how Honda do things in the early days. This is a timing belt, so it's a Gates belt. I'm not sure if it's been replaced or not. Some of this is just for peace of mind. The owner of this just wants to make sure it's good. This could have been replaced. It's hard to tell. Even when Honda tell you to turn it over and look for the separating teeth, I've done that for years and I've never seen one with separating teeth even when it has 100,000 miles on it. So again, peace of mind. I did manage to find the factory Honda belt, and it is not a Gates number, by the way. A lot of people believe that Gates were all of Honda stuff. It's not right there. That's the belt. Same thing, found the factory pump. That's the part number for it. OEM pump. Amazing. Amazing thing is most of the B-Series stuff is discontinued, so it's good to see you can still get some of it. Definitely an aftermarket pump that came out of it. Hear that? But look at that wheel. That is the thickest cast wheel ever. There's the Honda bund all the way around it. Not that it makes a difference, but I always put the belts on with the logo facing outwards. You see that? All of the grommets fell apart for the valve. So all of these little pieces fell apart, the rubber grommets. Now this gasket kit is discontinued, which is crazy. Also the dry belts from Honda, which these have all been replaced. They're all different brands, but I wanted to get Honda ones. So I just got Dayco ones right here, and we have a Felpro gasket set. That's being taped back together. That don't look good. Okay, it's all there. Every time something's opened, you assume somebody's rifled through it and took all the main stuff, but there we go. 4 grommets and 4 tube seals. So there wasn't a lower bolt in the alternator. It's supposed to have a bolt with a square on the back side because it's difficult to get to that, and that square would usually line up with that slot right there. Well, it was completely missing. I don't have one. So I just made this bolt real quick. Basically just added on a piece of 6mm stud right there, so that when that goes in there, it will lock against this terrible view right here. It locks against that, so when you tighten it, if I can spin it, it tightens against there. That's a little bit better shot. Upper radiator hose is still available right here. Lower one is not, it's discontinued. This is the part number, Dayco number. This takeoff. Don't leave it on there, it's gross. Take your time, take it off. Every time. Make the hose look nice and black and not a big ginormous patch on the side to let everybody know the part number. You should know the part number. Don't know if you can see down there. See a lot of sulfur in there. New one has wider cores. I see that core there is about 50% wider than the other one. It'll do a better job on it. New hoses. The clamps are good. They've still got plenty of good tension on them. Did take that sticker off there like I told you about. New valve cover gasket, valve adjustment, time belt, water pump, dry belts. Last thing is do an oil change, fresh coolant. I'm going to check the cap and rotor. The wires look like they've been replaced, so does the cap, but I'm going to check it anyway. I didn't order one just in case. I did buy new NGK plugs. We'll check the filter. Other than that, engine portion should be done. A few of the little things they want us to look at here. I was getting ready to go home, but I knew I would think about this if I went home now. So I'm going to go ahead and change the plugs before I go home. That way that part is done. We're putting iridium in here, so these will last much longer. These are just the regular coppers. As you see, they are kind of rounded. You see that? Not terrible, but the electrode is rounded a little bit. These will last literally forever. Okay, I gotta put the disclaimer on the screen. The spark plugs won't last literally forever. I know someone's gonna call me on it. They're good for X amount of miles. You put in your own mileage in there. So there we go. Put the wires, clips back on there. I did check the cap and rotor, and it is nice and new. Always like to see these back in place. There was one more holder here I put aside right here. I always like to see all these plastic clips go back on. It went on this lower hose. Trying to look it through the camera. It went here, and then it walked around that heater hose. Heater hoses are nice, by the way. They're not crunchy at all. A couple of the hoses on the radiator was. There you go. Just supports that. Good. Fresh coolant to go in. All right, now I'm going home. All right, day 3, I just thought about it. I'm gonna check to make sure my flasher is working like it should do. We bought new flashers and I'm testing a handful of them just to make sure they're up to spec before I sell them. Okay, looks like it works. This is what it looks like. Hopefully this will solve the rear end issue. Somebody bumps into you at 5 miles an hour, it's like a $500 to $1,000 fix. This is 20 bucks. It should save a lot of hassle and save you a lot of money. It should be in the store by the time you see this video. Okay, back to the store. So sometimes I don't sound real enthusiastic about the store, and it's only because to me there's no passion in it. Putting something in a box and sending it, you don't get to interact with the customer and you don't get to see the finished product. It's kind of like if you're in a company and you're somewhere in the middle and you don't see anything happen. You just, you know, it's just a production line. Things just go past you and, you know, the company's, you know, working. I like to see a completion. It's kind of like creating something. It's like if you paint a picture, you want to see it from start to finish, and then you want to see the customer get the picture and be happy with it. Here's a perfect example. Let me put this up on the screen while the computers are doing their thing.
All right, today's job comes all the way from Ohio.
It makes a big difference too with a new spring, because so this was fantastic. This was what the customer sent in our YouTube comments. I just wanted to screenshot it and show you. Really, really nice to see this. Basically, it's like a bonus when we get this. Obviously, we're getting paid to do this. It is a job, but we enjoy our job. But getting something like this makes you feel really good about what you did. Thank you so much for the kind review and bringing the car all the way from Ohio. I think this is our last one. Look how beautiful that is. That's the titanium elbow for the S2000 using the stock airbox, and you can use either the stock filter or the K&N. I think this is our last one. Not a money maker for us, very, very time consuming, but just a really beautiful piece. I can't wait to show you this. This is awesome. There is a little air temp sensor. There he goes. Can you see that? So Esther always yells at me for using too much bubble wrap, but this is my favorite way of packing, is bubble wrap and wrap everything really tight and then doubly protect it. It's a lot better than someone getting your part and it's damaged, or the carrier drop kicking it and it getting ruined. So I'm gonna do one layer like that, and tape it. So that's why I went to Sam's yesterday to get more bubble wrap. So there it is, and then we'll do another layer as well. The couplers and the stemless clamps. He is also getting a fixture. So a bunch of little bubbles in the corners, extra bubble wrap right here. Fixture right there. Let's throw in one of those guys, and there we go. We'll even put in a sticker. All right, nice and tight. Let's test it. Always should check your packages before you ship them. Ready? Seems pretty good, right? Let's do one more long distance shot. Ready? Gotta test it. I don't think that's going anywhere. What do you think? Always check your packet. Make sure that your customer is going to get a good box. So that's ready to go. Just kidding. This is your box. This is just a bunch of trash. Andrew is getting the molding that we use for lips and side strikes. I did a video on this. I'm going to put this in a small box, but I'm going to make like a little piece to go around it so this doesn't get damaged. Let me show you. Basically made a little box and then a little bit of packing in each end, and then I'll put some foam in here so it doesn't get squashed. Look at that. Oh, I've got to get you a key ring. Double walled little divider, bubble wrap on the bottom, bubble wrap on the top. Gonna throw in an LHT key ring because Esther's not here and she's not gonna yell at me. And we'll pack you with this stuff, and this one is on its way to you. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there where I don't feel alone. I did a video on the NSX showing you how complicated the oil change was on that car. And I also showed that we replace this, which is the sealing washer. And somebody made a comment on there and said, I never replace those. What's your thoughts on that? Well, I'll tell you what my thought is. We replace them whether you like it or not. Even if you said, hey, I used it brand new the last time. If you bring it here, we're going to put a new one on there for you. I just took the wheels off, and this is one of the things that they want to address. It's overspray. I think most of it might come off. I'm going to get some lacquer thinner and hit all this and see if we can get it off. That way we don't have to paint, because we don't want to paint over overspray because it's not going to stay on. Wheel wells, same thing. It's like it comes off. Again, don't want to paint over overspray because all you do is paint it over something that's going to fall off itself. But let's go ahead and give this a quick wipe down, see if all that white will go away. And then they want to paint these. These look like they're being replaced, but they're just raw cast iron, so they're going to rust and look like crap behind those really pretty Volk wheels. I think you might go with discs down the road, but just for right now, they're just trying to kind of spruce it up. Filter looks like brand new. There it is. Look how bad that is corroding. It's leaking in there. I'm just going to check the booster. Hopefully it didn't ruin it. That might be one of the worst ones we've seen for a while, right? Everything's good. It's cycled a few times. It's up to temperature. It's controlling itself. Everything is good. Now I'm going to go to lunch. I'll put it back together and take it for a test drive. What do you want to do for lunch? Oh, wait a second. Here, a cardboard box. So the question is, where am I going to go for lunch? Let's go this way and see if something inspires me. Hopefully this pickup truck goes back on his side of the road. I don't know what that fascination is. You just, whenever you get a chance, you go, well, I want to drive in the middle because that's what I like. I don't get it. Pickup truck. Well, you don't see that every day. Wow, look at that. All right, so on this side we have Panda Express, and on this side we have Chick-fil-A. We have synthetic food across the street. Just switch to the wide angle lens just so you can get a feel of this car. If you've never been inside a Delsol, they're very much like an S2000 in a lot of ways. They've got that cockpit feel, and also the radio door. It's not quite the same, but it makes it disappear. Very cool. And also what is really cool, if you've never seen this before, See, it's got the picture of the Delsol right here. Front windows, this is a rear window. That opens up that back window. And then of course the top does come off. It's a hard top. And then it's very, very much like a convertible. So this wasn't very well received when it came out. In some countries they called this a CRX. So that made the CRX people upset because it doesn't really resemble a CRX. The only difference is, well, the only similarity is front wheel drive and it has an engine in the front. Other than that, it looks more like an EG than a CRX. But now you can't get these cars. Now it seems like the popularity has started to pick up. And they're a cool car. When you drive them, they feel very cool. It feels very sporty. Like I say, like a front wheel drive S2000. This one's automatic, so it's not that exciting. But, you know, for a daily driver, just normal driving, can't really beat an automatic. I'm not going to beat on it. I'm just going to make sure everything's good. Because the transmissions are not known to be that good in these cars. Especially with 152,000 miles on it. I really don't want to cause them any issues for this trans. Just want to make sure everything works. So it's hard to see in this light, but there is a little green light comes on to let you know the window is down. Very cool. I mean, this is 1995, guys. What was you doing in 1995? Well, I'll tell you what I was doing. I was getting ready to open LHT Performance. I opened in 1996. I was working for somebody else, but doing LHT on the side, believe it or not. Wait for traffic. We'll go out and take it back, look it over. I did paint the rear control arms and the drums, made it look a lot nicer. I'm not gonna pull it in front of this car because I really don't want to punch it. If we have a VTEC motor in here with a manual, I'd have 100% gone for it. I'm also extra conservative driving somebody else's car. I'm only really driving it just so I can kind of show it to you guys and make sure it is happy. Brakes feel good now. It's got a nice solid pedal. Before, when you apply pressure and hold it, the pedal would go down to the floor, which, as we showed, it was bypassing fluid internally. All right, let me park this thing, walk around it, and show you it from the outside. Very, very cool. Brand new paint job, brand new Volk wheels, a few other accessories. I think they still plan to go on there, but really nice example of a Honda Delsol. Alright, it's day 4. I'm going to start working on the S. The Delsol is getting picked up. I'm waiting for the head to come back on this. You're not even supposed to be here today. George is off this week, but he couldn't stay away. He's actually putting his K24 together. He's getting all the little pieces buttoned up. He has a date on the calendar. He's going to be coming in. We're going to be putting this together. Another set of exhaust tips going out. If anybody was interested, the fan is still working well. If you saw the dilemma we had going through fans. See, now you want to buy one, don't you?
Yeah.
This is going to be the wrap for Esther. It's a little bit bigger.
Nice.
I finally got you to ride it.
I know.
So, yeah. That was bigger. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's better than you expected.
You gotta get used to it.
All right, there is the finished product. It's wrapped now. That is Esther's Honda Motor Compacto in the Fast and Furious theme. She designed it. Pat put it together. Pat the Stripe guy. If you're interested in a Motor Compacto, we did get another batch in. We are selling them at MSRP. Hit me up. I think I have 8 in stock. Imagine a rear-wheel drive version of the Motor Compacto that does close to 30 miles an hour with a 20-mile range. Imagine that. More on this later. while I'm waiting for the cylinder head to come back. Basically getting the new brake light flashers ready. This is something I've been testing in my car now. I always want to make sure whatever we sell is something I use, and every single one of them we're testing, we're putting everything together so it's easier for you to install. I just installed one on an S2000 just to make sure I can show you how to do it. But by the time you see this video, these should be in the store. So as crazy as this little thing is, and I know some people are going to go, well, why do I want my tail light to flash? You don't want the idiot behind you to run into you that is probably on their phone or being distracted. A friend of mine just got rear-ended, and I'll show you the damage here in a minute. It was like a 2-mile-an-hour impact, and estimate is $960 to basically replace the bumper and paint the bumper because it cracked the bumper, disformed it to a point you can't use it. And this little thing, it blinks just to get the attention of the person behind you. Hopefully it will save you a lot of money and a lot of headache. Nothing worse than having some idiot bump into your car while they're not paying attention. Even worse, I won't give all the details, but someone very close to me just had their car bumped into while they're sitting in it, while the people were in their car and saw us clear as day and thought they could fit through the gap and gunned it, bumped into the car. Yeah, almost over $1,000 worth of damage just because everything is so expensive. Paint work is expensive. So if nobody's counted yet, I'm putting 5 butt connectors in there. You only need 4, but I'm including 5. So when you mess up the first one or you don't crimp it right, you got enough to do the job. Okay, we're out of connectors, out of butt connectors. I got some more coming. These are the heat shrink ones, by the way. I try and use high quality parts. I don't go and find the cheapest things I can use. I want to use the things that we would use, because if it annoys me, it will probably annoy you. These are the good butt connectors, and like I said, heat shrink. You heat them, they collapse around the wire, and it looks nice, and it helps support the wire too. Plus a zip tie to zip tie your wires up once you get it in position. So let me go ahead, put these in the store. Working like it should do. All right, so cylinder head's done. I'm gonna go across town and go get it. Still editing the video, by the way. This is the one that you're watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed kind of hanging out with me for the last few days. George is already gone. He only came in this morning just to work on his motor a little bit. We do have a date on the calendar, so he is booked in. And for those that are asking, yes, he is getting paid off, and he is getting paid to work on his motor, and I'm getting paid to help him with it. So I'll be working on it with him. We'll put, I think we've got 4 days put aside, so basically we should have 90% of it knocked out. We are going to document the whole build for those guys that are looking to do the same generation Civic. 7th gen Civic is still fairly cheap, and they're fairly light. So you put a K24 in one of those cars, you've got a real fun, lightweight tuner car. Something that's going to rev to 8 grand and have all the right noises. So let's head to the bank, then the paint shop, then to the machine shop. Most annoying bank in the world. I have to go in. No more drive-through. I have to walk in and give them my deposit slip, which wastes time. It's 2:11 and I still haven't eaten lunch. I tell you, running your own business, you could do whatever you want. Work whatever hours you want, take all the time off that you want, eat wherever you want. Yeah, whoever told me that, we're lying. I eat on the run. I eat whatever is quick and whatever is cheap. There she is. Nice and shiny. Got Chick-fil-A again. Yes, that's what time it is. Almost 4 o'clock. Just getting lunch now. Been running around. So many things just trying to get done. One of the things I picked up more of our butt connectors, bullet connectors, whatever you want to call them. All right, this is the end of day 4. I'm going to go home. I got to go figure out what I'm going to feed the kids. And I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I can put the intake on, do the valves. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed the week at LHT with just me. This is next on the list. This is a complete stock accurate integrity GSR. It's getting the LHT supercharger package with pulleys, billet S-tube, and the whole 9 yards. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget, enjoy your cars.